Hello everyone, I am Dr. Eric Morrison. This is 7 Under 3, and I'll be covering trading education, more specifically Forex trading, using the TC2000 and TradingView platforms. Hello, this is the Forex Week in Review for the 28 majors and minors to include Mexican peso and South African rand. We have the weekly chart here, so we just do one trade a week, and this week was a drawdown compared to the other weeks. So I did mention wick trades going forward as a test. I did not do well at all as far as the wick trades. This week was very choppy overall, so stay with your standard trend, riding the dragon trades, and stick with one standard lot just to minimize the risk going forward with multiple lot trades. So Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar, there's no trade. Though last week I did do a wick trade and I was stopped out for a loss. Aussie dollar, Swiss franc, same thing, wick trade, and I was stopped out for a loss. Aussie dollar, Japanese yen, no trade, was below the dragon. Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, I like a 1-to-1. Open was right at the Euro 270, so no trade. Aussie dollar, US dollar was a trade. However, it was right up against the Z3 excursion, so there was no 1-to-1. I didn't take this trade. Canadian dollar, Swiss franc was a trade. I did have a 1-to-1 from here to here, all the way down to the Z3. Went ahead and got a nice profit off the Z3 bounce on this short. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen was a long. Overall loss of $51. Swiss franc, Japanese yen, same thing. Overall long. Loss, hit my stop at the low of the last week's candle. Swiss franc, South African rand was to the downside. However, it was all in strength, so no trade. And still above the dragon. Same thing with Euro Aussie dollar and Euro Canadian dollar, no trade. Euro Swiss franc was a trade, but what you saw here, if you had your stop at the high, was stopped out for this overall loss of $513. No trade for Euro British pound. No trade for Euro Japanese yen. No trade for Euro New Zealand. To the short side, I did do this based upon the COT in the trade, though I did get a nice overall return here. I did not hit my stop. Overall, $1,010 here on this overall trade to the upside, but this was just a test. I had a 1, 2, 3 count with the COT in agreement overall with this nice overall trade. Euro Aussie dollar, Euro US dollar, you had your stop here at the high of the candle. You were stopped out. You're at the Heikinashi, you were still in it. Overall gap to the downside of $192. Euro South African rand, you had a 1, 2, 3 to the short side. However, it went up against you with a $1,052 loss. British pound Aussie dollar, no trade. British pound Canadian dollar, no trade. British pound Swiss franc was a trade short to the downside, however, it was a $248 loss. British pound Japanese yen, no trade to the short side. British pound New Zealand dollar, no trade to the short side. British pound US dollar, no trade to the short side. It's still green in this case, and we didn't have anything crowded out to the short side. British pound South African rand, same thing. We had a 2 count here, however, went up against with a $1,576.75 loss overall. New Zealand Canadian dollar, no trade. New Zealand Swiss franc was an overall loss, about $536 to the short side. No trade with New Zealand Japanese yen, and no trade with New Zealand US dollar. Why? Because the overall distance between the open and the Z3 was not a 1-to-1. US dollar Canadian dollar, overall loss, $9.53. However, if you had your stop at the low, you would have been stopped out. US dollar Swiss franc, no trade. US dollar Japanese yen, overall loss $142.27. US dollar Mexican peso, one of the biggest losses here, $1,985.92. Went ahead and ripped to the other direction and stopped out. US dollar South African rand, no trade. No significant commitment of traders to the short side. South African rand, Japanese yen, overall trade to the long side, loss of $72.80. Looking at the overall week for one standard lot, if you did multiple lots, the loss is a lot more than this. But one standard lot among those that were picked was $1,233.95 on the majors and minors, and on the exotics. Swiss franc, South African rand, all the way to South African rand, Japanese yen. We're looking at $4,685 loss to the downside. So overall drawdown week for the Forex. So looking at next week, we got Euro South African Rand, British South African Rand, Aussie Dollar Japanese Yen, Swiss Franc South African Rand, New Zealand Japanese Yen, US Dollar Mexican Peso, and the reason why we have a 1, 2, 3 count here with it almost being around 70%, 69 and 60, that's pretty significant weighting to the short side, and this is due for a nice bounce to the upside. US Dollar South African Rand, the long side. Euro Aussie Dollar, we have a 1, 2, 3 count for the commitment of traders to the short side. Euro Canadian Dollar, we got a 1, 2, 3 count, crowded out. Euro Swiss Franc to the short side. Euro New Zealand, we got a 1, 2, 3 count to the short side. Euro US below the RL270, nice overall distance to the Z3 and Z3 excursion here, and in agreement with crowded out to the long side. Euro British Pound below the RL270 to the downside, nice overall distance and risk to reward all the way down to the Z3 here. So those are the picks for next week. Remember, there is a Labor Day weekend on Monday, so you might be setting up these trades on Monday night. If you do program them for Sunday, just be aware there may be some fluctuations that happen on Monday due to the NYSE being closed. If you're interested in these kind of strategies going forward, or programming in both PineScript or Python and auto trading, click on the links below. And remember, ruthless risk management. Have a great weekend, everybody, and I'll see you either on Sunday or Monday, your choice. Take care. Well, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like rumble button below and the subscribe button. And if you want more information, go ahead and click the course information links below. On the TradingView link and on TC2000, I have an affiliate link. If you open up a TC2000 account, you will receive a $25 discount using that link. Thank you for your time.